So it finally happened. I ended up getting drained. So I've been in the space for 2 years, 2.5 years, hyper vigilant, staying sort of safe, not clicking too many bad links, not signing too many things, and it finally happened. I ended up getting some NFTs taken from my wallet. So to give you a little bit of an idea of what's happening, as you can see here, it's 50 minutes ago, literally, so it's happened within the hour ago, so it's quite recent. I was here taking some photos for thumbnails. So usually you batch through a whole bunch of different sort of reactions, those stupid faces like this. Did that. Then what I ended up doing is I started to get some alerts on my phone. The phone started buzzing. I'm like, what's going on here? Pick up the phone and I end up seeing all of these. These are alerts from Floor. Now I absolutely love Floor app. I use it every single day. And I saw a whole bunch of things being sent out. And I'm like, oh, and usually when you sell things or transfer things, it pings up. And I'm like, that's strange. I didn't have any of these items listed. And next thing I know, I go in there and yep, things have gone. So having a look at this, you can see here that within an hour ago, this is what has actually happened. And when you go in and click on the actual sort of wallet itself to see what it is, there's nothing there because it is a spam sort of scam wallet. So heading over to Etherscan, you can see here, this is where I started to get a little bit confused. It was 7 NFT sales. I'm like, okay, what? And then you can see here, it's the wallet has been dubbed fake phishing, and I'll get into what the actual link was in a second, and Blur Marketplace. And then from this, I'm like, oh, okay. I started to kind of have a bit of a vibe about what happened. And you can see here some of the sort of NFTs here. So what I ended up doing is I went over to Blur to see what the activity was like and see what actually happened. When you actually head to the history section in Blur, now ignore this top one. I actually restaked my chimp. I was doing some things for the chimpers guys, so I had to unstake to test something out, so just ignore that. But you can see here a series of sales. So what has happened is I've clicked this link. It has then gone in and listed these items for sale for essentially one way, like literally just like 0.0000001. You can actually see it here. So the 7 NFTs were sold for like literally like just one. So what has ended up happening is I've ended up selling these things to the person. So that's what the sort of phishing is. It wasn't like they drained my wallet that way. It's almost like a roundabout way. And I think this would be off the back of Blur permissions, because all of these items I had listed at some point in time for a bit to sell. Now look, before I get into what the NFTs are and their liquidity, I need to show you what the scam was. So this is the email that came through. Now, the first thing that you would see when you see this is you're going like, what is no reply at everbridge.net? Why would you ever click that? And my rebuttal to that is this. If you actually watch this video, this is what came through. Because it popped in at sort of 7 a.m. my time, I was up at 7:30. I looked at my emails when I was in bed on my phone. And then what I ended up doing is going through, and it doesn't actually have the from address. It just says from Nansen2 to me. And I'm like, Nansen2 seems a little bit off. But then I was like, the heading was Nansen 2.0. And we're in airdrop season. We're in sort of people farming tokens and stuff. And this, I was like, I would like to see if I was eligible. And for me, it made perfect sense because I had used my email address to use Nansen a few times, but then I'd also used my wallet address to actually pay for Nansen for a while as well. So in my mind, this actually worked. And then what I did is I clicked it, opened up the link. It then said, check your wallet in MetaMask, and then it opened up MetaMask. And then when I clicked to sign a message, something popped up. And what ended up, and I obviously I'm not going to click again to show you, but what popped up, I was just like, hey, this feels a little bit sus. Then I sort of dipped out. I'm like, okay. Then I went over to Nansen's Twitter account, couldn't see anything on their Twitter account. I'm like, oh, okay, is this an early access thing? I don't know. I'll check it out later. But because I didn't think that I clicked sign on the main thing that popped up, I was like, okay, cool, I'm fine, I should be good. And then I just went about my day, nothing crazy happened, and I was like, okay, I'll check back in later. And then obviously we fast forward to now. Now look, the silver lining, and it's not the right word to use, but the silver lining for all of this is most of these NFTs didn't have any liquidity, or I was not selling them. Now I'm going to go to OpenSea because it's a little bit easy to kind of see on OpenSea. So with the Courtyard Pass 14 days ago, 18 days ago, and it was literally like $40. Then when we get to the next one, Terrapin Genesis, I'd been holding this for a while, but with the activity on this one, it has actually taken a series of, I think it's been maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month, but you can see the price trending out here, 16 days ago, 22 days ago, 2 months ago. So there wasn't much liquidity on Terrapin Genesis. With the Artie's Mint Pass, I think this was like 0.6 ETH, so it was quite a lot to begin with. But when you actually have a look at the liquidity that was on this one, it's still days ago, and it's still like $100. It's not nothing, but it still is a decent, there isn't that much liquidity on it. Then with the Crypto Mites unrevealed, but when it comes to sales, it was basically 23 days ago, so getting close to a month ago. Unorthodox Pass, this thing hasn't seen a sale in a bit of a while. Then next up is Dark Echelon. Now I was never going to sell this as a piece because my friend Amir Hussein, this is his project, so this is what ended up happening. This thing, the Genesis Pass, ended up getting taken. I was never going to sell it anyway, so for me it's a loss, but not a financial loss because I was never going to sell that in the first place. But that's got some decent liquidity, and it's basically 2x the floor, so you kind of going a 0.35 to a 0.4 for that. And the biggest loss, I guess, because I would have considered selling it at some point in time, is the Hape. Now this one got taken. You can see the floor here is 0.189, and on the activity, this still has somewhat daily activity and a lot of sales that are happening. So the liquidity is decently high, and it has a high enough price. So overall, what has ended up happening, sorry, just the phone keeps going off and I'm just worrying that there's more stuff being taken. But what has ended up happening is I've transferred some things. I'm just going to like essentially clean that wallet out, sanitize that. Anything that's left in there is just going to be terrible. I have got some blow points that a blow airdrop that I hope will actually come through from that wallet. Then after that comes through, I'm basically going to dust my hands and then leave. So literally, as you can see, it happened an hour ago. I'm just going through transferring some things out and then going to set up and be clean and sanitized with a new wallet basically. Now, having a look at the wallet itself, about what they actually have in their wallet. You can see here they've got a Mochaverse, an Azuki Elemental, Wonky Stonks Doggies. You can see a whole bunch of things that they've actually got in here. When we actually have a look at the history, I'm sort of like one of the last ones there. You've got a Mechaverse, and then you can see some, they've obviously done some trading to another wallet. So what are these, Arc Gobblers? Then it looks like you've got Meebits. So this wallet has had a lot of sketchy things, has done a lot of sketchy things, and I think they're trying to sell some things, whatever it is. Vayner Sports Passes, a whole bunch of stuff. Atom Bomb Squad. Okay, this is actually a crazy looking wallet to go through, Little Lemon Friends. So yeah, look, this wallet is going absolutely ham, absolutely crazy. I'm going to be very careful on the links, but also Blur, because you'll basically give approval. The one thing that I'm coming in my mind is the fact that you can actually approve to sell on Blur, and what it's done is it's come through and then essentially relisted all of those items on Blur, and then that's kind of ended up happening. So yeah, if you've got any more info, drop something in the comments below or send me a DM on Twitter. I'd love to kind of hear about it. So as you can see, this happened about an hour ago, and I think the takeaway for me is the fact that apart from being sort of hyper vigilant, which you just need to. So as you can see, this happened about an hour ago. So as you can see, this happened about an hour ago. Now, I'm not too angry and disappointed. Overall, I think I've lost around sort of what, half, maybe If I was to sell everything at floor, I'd have maybe 0.6 ETH, but of the things that I would actually sell, I think it's closer to sort of a 0.25 ETH of things that I would actually sell if there was actually liquidity there. So for me, it's not too much of a loss. Obviously, no one wants to get scammed. No one wants anything to kind of bad to happen. For me, some of these NFTs I was never going to sell anyway. I was never going to sell the Hype. I was never going to sell the Dark Echelon. And the other ones don't have that much liquidity, and it's not too bad of a sort of a scam anyway. The silver lining for me in this is it gives me a chance and a reason to set up a completely new wallet, onboard fiat from a different sort of on-ramp, and just start again and just be really sort of sanitized with it. So that's going to be my job over the next sort of week or so, especially heading into what's going to be a crazy bull run with crypto, just being safer, consolidating all of my stuff into one spot, and then essentially chopping that off and then starting again with a new set of wallets. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. It's a little bit crazy, a little bit chaotic, but it is what it is. I'm happy I didn't get anything else taken. There were other things that could have been taken that maybe I was going to sell, but ultimately I'd been sort of pulling back on lots of NFT purchases, so I didn't have anything crazy. So yeah, that's it. I just thought it's no real big crazy lesson here. This is just letting you know what's happening with just something that popped up, something that happened, just so that you kind of understand that these kind of things are out there. So please be careful when you're kind of pressing those pressing links, anything. If I get an email, I'm almost never going to click anything again. But yeah, hopefully you guys had a great weekend, and I look forward to making another video for you shortly. Yeah, and as Gorilla would say, peace.